talking about the country where we live, things that give us hope, things that upset us. It's President's Day, which kind of is a laugh, but for me, but I got more hope in us as people, so we're talking to folks.
I don't know, government hasn't done much of anything lately worth noting. I was born into the Reagan administration and shit's gone downhill since then.
Happy President's Day, sir. I just found out it's free parking. This guy might want to talk about the country. I don't know.
Hey, fam, what happened?
Do you want to? If you want to send it, we're talking about. Listen, it's President's Day, which is pretty laughable to me, but I don't know what you think about it. It's just the country and life in general.
You know, life in general, the country right now. A salute to President Trump. Here's our president right now.
Okay.
Regardless of what anybody says.
Okay.
First and foremost, he is.
Okay.
But our country's in a lot of trouble right now. But the fact is, we are winning. The good men, the good people, men, women, and children of God are winning this war. We all have to stand up, family. It's all of us battling together. No matter what your beliefs are, what you believe in, you believe in that rock or whatever, that's on you. If you're a good person, stand up. He'll take care of everything if we just stand up. He already did everything for us to begin in. He's got our backs. We have to stand our ground. We have to push forward. We have to move on the evil and get rid of them. Put them in jail, they go to hell. As simple as that. You know, if they don't want to change their ways, we pray for them. But some of these spirits want to stay as they are. These people want to have the spirits in them and keep them. And that's their choice. The deal is, we're taking the world back. America's first because what that flag represents.
We got some tri-flags here. That's kind of cool. They're flying the Black Lives Matter flag here, the rainbow flag, and some fish flags apparently. And there's, I believe that might be a martini glass flag below the Black Lives Matter flag. It's some mixed messaging. Hey, why not? Mixed messaging. It's great. Life is complex. It's going to be a theme of the day.
And with that flag is freedom for all people. All the gas, the oil, all these riches we got underneath the ground is not the richest stuff. It's ours, all of ours, to share. That's what God intended. That's what we're going to get back. We'll take everything back, one way or another. It's happening right now. The Great Awakening.
People power, you know. That's kind of the way
we
I
are
like it.
together.
Yeah. You heard the intro there. You got anything you want to share about your thoughts, hopes, dreams, concerns?
We're Canadian.
Oh, awesome. Oh, well, you count too. You're on planet Earth. This is an Earth-based thing, not just the United States. Happy Free Parking Day, everybody. Woohoo!
You know what's happening in the States is that everything is politicized. Every single thing is politicized, and it's not like that in Canada. And it just becomes like people just react to things more naturally and more like people because not everything is politicized.
Oh,
It's not hard to love somebody. It's not hard to respect somebody. You combine those things, it's very, very powerful.
I think there should be more art available, and I'm an artist. I've trained, so I've been doing this for a long time. But at the same time, I still feel that everybody has the ability to express themselves and should express themselves.
Absolutely.
And find something deeper within that isn't just monetarily based.
And that's what we're doing. Everybody's a part of it.
yeah.
If you complain all the time, then you're just kind of be in a bad mood all the time.
Yeah. And there's so much wealth. There's so much. And I was just pointing out the positive sides of this, and we even need them in a time of true need and things, but like, we pulled this out of the earth. Look at our creative potential. You probably heard me saying that when we walked up, but then also, we have a lot of creative potential that's not just, that stuff too. Is this your music?
Oh, thanks, man. I made
Check it out.
Yeah, D-Valley's
Give these guys some FaceTime here.
Fuck yeah.
Probably about 300 to 400 million people will be seeing this at some point.
There we
in the
go,
near future.
man.
So,
D-Valley, man. Valley,
gotta help each
Valley
other
scores
out.
again.
Say that one more time. I talked over you.
Yeah, D-Valley, Valley scores again, man. Fuck with us, man. Salute, man. Down here in San Diego, putting it down, man.
Yeah.
Stay
Dude,
blessed,
keep
man.
it up.
Yeah.
Keep it up. Spread those vibrations.
You already know, brother.
Yes, sir. Y'all be safe, baby. Yes, sir. God bless.
Yeah.
God bless. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Keep creating.
It's very important that people do stand up, and we salute almost all the presidents. Some of the presidents are very, very dirty.
Yeah.
And America's been dirty too.
Yeah.
It's not
Big time.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time. Very culpable. A lot of dirty stuff.
But a lot of beautiful things about it too.
A lot of beautiful things.
It's both.
It's both.
I'm so glad you brought up the politicization in general, because it is the whole divide and conquer is an ancient observation about how to maintain control over people, and I think that's absolutely what's being utilized on us right now.
Yeah.
We're focused on the details of our disagreements, which there's validity in those details of disagreements, but it's not.
But it doesn't have to be along political lines of a two-party system.
Yeah,
Like-
100%.
Like it's just like it's like what you only have two types of people. Like,
Yeah.
Like if
Yeah.
you want less taxes, you automatically have to not want vaccines and not want this and not
Yes.
want that and hate these people. No. But it's like these are such separate issues. Why is there such a divide along two like?
Yeah, it's truly insane. It's
Like
insane.
I want
It's not
shorter
sane.
hedges, thus I also
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, no, dude. I want some knuckles on that, seriously, because like I'm from both of you, please, because like you really, I have nothing to add but an amplification. How long have you been doing this for?
17 years.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing, dude. All mainly in San Diego, or do you travel a lot?
Mostly in San Diego.
Awesome. Can we promote you at all, or like give your contacts, or does that help you at all if we like show your name? Like my name's Alex, by the way, just to.
Alex, my name is Christoph.
Christoph, beautiful to meet you. You can this works even on the screen right now. You can help this guy out from wherever you're watching that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
We'll give technology that one.
Excellent.
I'm no like tech savior person, but as long as it's gonna be around, I think we could use it for some good things,
As
right?
long as I can make some money, I think it's fine.
Right.
Yeah, as long as I'm not in the gutter, I appreciate the technology. But you know, cold hard cash.
you like that?
I like that.
You're not too into going full digital central bank currency?
No.
That doesn't excite you?
No.
Yeah, no. What do you think about like a decentralized network, like a Bitcoin or something? You're familiar with decentralized networks, kind of?
Yeah, I'm familiar with it a little bit.
Yeah, that's one that but that seems, from what I understand about it, to be better than a centralized network, at least as far as no one could just yank the keys or have the ignition and just take everything away. It's better. It is always squirrely, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of taking your money and putting it in your mattress.
You like that?
kind
You
of
want
thing.
the, yeah.
Like
me
I
too.
like tangible things.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
As opposed to like things that could,
Yeah.
you know.
Even an electromagnetic sun pulse or one of those ideas that just all of a sudden your hard drive's like, oh, I think the same thing.
Although, you know.
We're in new waters with this thing. It's only been around like 50 years, maybe.
I think, so for me, like trash throughout the world is a problem. Whether it's here, whether it's in third world countries, wherever.
Yes.
So I think that we need to think about government systems where almost every government has a position for a trash czar. It's a paid position. They are able to look at solutions in other countries of how they handle the trash and how to collect the trash so that it's not polluting the environment and going into the oceans. And
Absolutely.
like, so trash czar position.
Interesting.
politics.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes. A lot of people are defeated. A lot of people feel like the things that frustrate them, corruption maybe, I'll just be specific, maybe that's like, well, what can we do about it? And it's like anything to, we talk about ballot initiatives and crowdfunding ideas and things we can do outside of politicians or things like that, or just things, I got a lot more faith in people than I do in politics and that kind of thing, or as you would think about it, even though I understand that we're a collective and infrastructure. I don't like the way our taxpayer dollars are spent in a large degree. I don't know if you do or not. You seem like it's about half of the pie chart is defense, and I just made the point of in a time of need, I'm glad people can do that, because unfortunately, but like, it's hard to argue it's all defense at this point, and
Yeah.
and that's not something we don't get to decide that, and the politicians don't seem like they represent us too much, really at all. So, are you stoked? What do you think of when you think of like the United States of America? Here I am. Here's this country. Do you think of more good stuff? Do you think of more like, God, we're screwed up? Like, does it both? I think both about it. That we might, but like,
I'm an immigrant, so I love the United States. I just
Okay.
don't like our political situation.
Yeah.
And I haven't for a long time.
Yeah.
A long time.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just hoping in my lifetime that I'll be able to vote for someone I actually want to vote for.
Right.
This area here.
Yeah.
It used to be for free expression,
Okay.
expressive performance.
Okay.
And it basically became completely commercialized. So people could come in and they could buy things off the internet and then just sell them here, or go to Costco and buy a bunch of hot dogs and open up shop, and then it makes it difficult for people that are artists to set up here.
I've heard there's a lot less space now. We've heard from some other people that there used to be a lot more space for that. And it's too bad, because we're all humans, but at the same time, when there's enough space for everyone is truly it, and it's too bad that we run into so many cities where just so much of this public space, they'll just come through and not let not anything, or not certain things, or not, they won't recognize that this is free expression.
The freedom for the people, and we're gonna make it happen. It's gonna happen no matter what. He says so. You guys are rocking it. You really are. I'm just a small part of the equation.
We're trying to just communicate, and that's the thing. Just, I think
communication.
We see a lot of separation from people, and like this is just to come out and just be. We play music sometimes, but it's a little more. There's just a little more distance there, and to really, it's the first time we've ever come out like this.
I am freely expressing I'm freely expressing myself now.
100%. You're damn right. Yeah, you are. That's right.
I would be
Press on.
I would be doing this if I was drawing someone's caricature as well.
Right.
You know,
I'm sure you're talking.
Expressing myself.
I think we're so much more similar than different. It's kind of, that's one of the basic
That is
ideas
the truth. That is the truth.
Even we focus on the differences, and the differences, sometimes it's important. Sometimes people's ideas can be dangerous. Sometimes things, it is. It's not just like, oh, ignore when there's maybe problematic people, but it is coming with an understanding that we come from difficult places. We get into things not always for the reasons that we intend to, and life deals us the cards they do as well, and that there's empathy in that. And that there's patience a little bit with each other, that, like you said, when you recognize love and respect isn't hard, I think it's not hard, because you just recognizing it's true, that that's the way to behave. We have to be, we're codependent. We just are. You can't argue it. It took two of us to make one of us.
You got that right.
Like, you know, so it's not even a morality, it's just, to me, it's even just like, this is what we are. We're mammals, we're codependent as well. We're part of a whole cosmos that created us. That's not even, it just is. I mean, maybe some people think we're in a simulation on an alien computer. You know, I don't really know.
Whatever they feel, that's on them.
Yeah, but I feel like we're all in the same suit. That's at least enough to observe. And
we're all a family.
And we're family.
We're all family.
Laid back people. It's kind of where the hippies from the Haight-Ashbury kind of migrated.
Trickled downstream a little bit.
Yeah, migrated down that way. Some of them migrated up to Sausalito and other places.
Yeah.
But Haight-Ashbury kind of died, you know?
Yeah.
And it became well, it was just the city life. It became, a lot of things changed. I mean, that was almost my era of generation.
Yeah. Were you up in the Haight in kind of its heyday?
My little brother lived up there.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? That's awesome.
He wanted to be there. He got to school.
Yeah.
He came there, I think in 72.
Okay. Yeah.
He thought it was the greatest place.
Yeah. I can't imagine at the time seeing, coming out of the 50s and everyone's appliance sort of centric reality for the first time, the Billboard Save Your Country by Shopping generation sort of started to come into play there in the 50s after World War II, and to see that first
this was the
resistance to that.
This was the change.
Fight for the cause, for the people, for freedom. Freedom for China, freedom for North Korea, freedom for the Philippines, freedom for everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm not stopping personally till that's all done.
Yeah.
And you know, yeah, there you go, bro.
Same.
We're in this together, fam.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys. To get this workout going, man.
Yeah.
God bless you guys.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Have a
much.
great day.
Peace.
I don't know if you...
Have a good day, fam. I appreciate it. Thank you, bro. Appreciate that.
Oh, hell yeah. What was your name?
My name's Blue, but y'all know who I am. I'm all spirits, all good spirits. We're here to rock the world. Let's go, fam.
Yeah. Ow.
San Diego. Ow. Let's go, California.
Yeah.
Let's go, America.
Yeah.
Let's go, world.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why we're out here today. We're out here for all of it. This is kind of a fun thing. This is about humanity over here. This is a real famous scene, you know. That was a photo, I think, originally that was printed in, like, who knows, the New Yorker or something back in the day. And this is, you know, a soldier back from, I think, World War II kissing his friend there after getting back from the war and not getting exploded into a million fucking pieces. And that's a real beautiful thing. And I think there's a reason that we have a statue out here of people kissing and not being blown into a million pieces, because it's what we want to focus on. It's certainly what I want to focus on. Unfortunately, that other stuff's happening at the same time of all this. I don't want to totally just, we don't have to go try to get right in the middle of this.
But that was a changing of American society for the first time since probably the Civil War before. You know, it was a complete. We went from that rural or whatever you want to call it to big cities and a whole bunch of new problems, and television and all of that stuff became like mainstream, and it affected the way people thought.
It became our culture. It started to replace our culture. That's kind of once the TV, it was the beginnings of, like, instead of your neighbors and your friends being your influence culturally, you started to have these paid people on TV, often actors who weren't even being real,
tell you what's cool.
Being what's cool, what's normal, what
Right,
people
and
are like.
People watch Leave It to Beaver thinking that's the way a family should be.
Right, and they all started acting like Leave It to Beaver.
They tried.
Yeah, no, that's so real. We're still dealing with that more than ever.
We're still dealing with it, but it had to do with a certain morality, I would say. Some of it was very good, some of it not so good. You know, we started seeing more influence by organized religion. I was born in 51, so I know all of that stuff. I'll say.
Wow, you were 18 in 1969, huh?
Oh, I guess so. That's when I graduated high school.
Goodness gracious, we got a ripe one here. That's amazing. Hell yeah.
A little bit of drawing, a little bit of therapy.
That's
how
beautiful.
I look at it.
That's awesome.
People will say that too. You know, I'll have people that sit down and I'll have a conversation with them, and you know, start digging into their life a little bit. Just trying to keep the conversation going. And what'll end up happening is they'll, you know, tell me what they did for a job, tell me what they're doing next, and you know, sometimes people get inspired.
Yeah.
They get inspired by me, and I get inspired by them. You know.
You know a comedian named Bill Maher?
Sure.
Yep.
Okay. But he said this the other night. He says, "We want our kids to go to college. They don't need to go to college." What the fuck does that mean? We need education more than ever before. We should provide free college education to every kid. It's important.
I agree.
How can we change the world, make it better, if we don't really educate our kids to learn and think and solve problems?
Education should be our #1 issue.
My argument has always been the most important issues this country can face is healthcare and education. If we can accomplish some real work in those areas, our country will be so much better.
I agree completely.
I mean, you know, it will solve all of these things, like a lot of the homelessness because of mental illness and stuff like that, and addiction, you know. And so if you can
empower people, I think
empower
is what
people
it's
with education,
right?
Quality. I'm talking about from kindergarten all the way through,
right.
But especially free college like Europe has,
right.
and free healthcare like Europe has.
Right.
And
I think that would benefit all of us as individuals
and people say, well, that would cause our tax rate to go up. Yeah. Well, fuck that.
I don't think it would. I think there's a big slice of that pie chart we could dip into.
There's
a big slice we could dip into.
There is a. Yeah.
You know the slice I'm talking about?
I mean, they used to blame it all on defense, but you know, defense used to be a good source of education because people would come into the military and they would learn.
Well, there's a value in a time of need for these folks,
That's
but I
right.
think it's obvious we're stirring things up a bit to sell weapons manufacturers.
That's right. Now
stuff
the weapons is crazy. Yeah. I mean, we invent a new weapon and then the next day it's obsolete. So we got it.
Absolutely, and we need to sell more because more is more. And
I give it one word: greed. We have moved into an area of such excessive greed. I don't think we've ever been in history.
Yeah, there's always a little something else around the corner.
To me, if you're not born with a sense of humor, then wait until you are.
Wait to be born until you've developed one in there? Stay in another month.
Yeah. The world needs that. It does.
It's our coping mechanism.
We have to laugh at ourselves.
Yeah.
I mean, the more we laugh at ourselves, the better we are.
Yeah.
It makes us smarter. It makes us see things we otherwise don't see.
It recognizes how we're incomplete. We're in process. We're not a total perfect, finished form thing, and we're working on it.
Two different types of people laugh at the same thing, then that's good.
Right.
You know? We can make Republicans and Democrats laugh at the same bullshit. Then
Absolutely.
We got something.
That's exactly right.
I mean,
100%.
Humor is just everything.
100%.
And it frees us up to not be so angry. That's the problem now. They've created this angry community. They're so angry they don't know what they're angry about because somebody tells them what to be angry about. You know, they have no idea what to be angry about, and then someone tells them, oh, I'm angry.
Well, and at a certain point, after you've been angry for 100 days in a row, the 101st, you just kind of wake up angry, even without even thinking about it. Your brain's you're just kind of used to it at that point.
It becomes your mindset.
Something nice might even happen, and you'd be like, oh, I don't even know how to handle that, and I can't even see that. Because we're all complex.
We're complex.
You know, we're all complex.
Don't expect it.
No one's 100% good or bad or right or wrong. No president ever has been. We're all human beings. No cop has ever been all good or all bad or anyone
I know.
has ever been. No member of the military. Nobody.
Human beings right now, we're overly judgmental of everything.
Yeah. I think it's a real reflection of our own insecurity.
That's what it is, exactly.
Yeah.
You hit it on the head. It's the insecurity we have built up. Because why are we so insecure? Because we haven't been well enough educated to not be.
Back to 100% agree. I've said the same thing. Exactly. It always comes back to that. And what you said about teaching people in an empowering way where you can think for yourself.
Right.
And I wanted to get your thoughts on, you know, when you mentioned Bill Maher and comedy, you know, I think that the reason people laugh when he says, you don't need to fucking go to college, is because that there is an element of truth, I think, that what education has become in this country is a great way to get hundreds of $1,000s into debt for a degree that at this point, the way the infrastructure is set up,
the quality
it barely
of the
gives
education.
you an advantage.
Yeah,
and
the quality of the education is, it's a business.
Right, and
education has turned into like a business.
Yes.
They make tons of money. I mean, who ever heard of going to college and be in debt for the rest of your fucking life?
It's crazy. It's
I mean,
crazy.
that doesn't. My college degree, each semester was $130.
Wow.
That was in 1970. Well, I started in '69, so I graduated in '73. But did I have any debt when I was?
Yeah, right. Yeah, what's it been about 5 times inflation since the 70s? So it'd be like $1,000 or something maybe now, even to equivalent. But now it's like God knows what it is.
2 weeks of either the Christmas vacation or the summer vacation and pay my whole year's tuition.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
We're cutting that. Franklin, peace. And much love.
yeah.
And much love. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your
Everything
time.
you said. It was great.
You too. You too.
care.
Keep it up. Keep it up. Thank you. That's the plan. All right, let's go charge up this battery. We'll see. Lots of. It took a minute. And the vibe has shifted down here definitely, but there's still people out, and you never know. It's still President's Day. Oh, look at that! Somebody like.
This has barnacles and shit growing on it.
Whoa. That's crazy. What is that doing like that? It like looks fresh.
Yeah,
Like they just like pulled it out. That is wild, dude. It's just like right here. You want to reflect on your experiences when you were down there, what you saw, how the barnacles were friendly? Interesting. Now, about the braking system. Really? Well, that's how they get you coming and going, am I right? Now, what percentage cut do you get from this, you know, what's your take on this whole thing? Really? A union? Well, I mean, it's safe with me. It's safe with me. Good luck to you. Best of luck.
Heck yeah, bring it on. Let's go.
All right. All right. It's President's Day, so we were told by the free parking on the meter, and it was like, okay.
I was happy, bro.
I was happy too. I'm like, at least I got something from the president, you know what I mean?
That's right.
Hey!
That's right.
What do you get excited about in life? Like, what's your passions? You got like even hobbies or like
Just my daughter, man. That's it.
Oh, really? Right on. That's
all I
beautiful.
got, man.
Oh, that's
all I
beautiful.
want.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
That's beautiful. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
That's super important.
Thank
That's
you,
super
yeah.
important. I kind of got to just adopt at a distance at this point in my life, but you know, that's how we all got here, you know.
Yeah,
So it's
right.
keeping life going. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. How old is she?
She's 10.
Oh wow. Okay. So
Yeah.
yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
You've seen a good arc of childhood.
Yep.
How about you? Do you dad yet or?
No.
No. A few confirmation no's on that one.
He's trying to knock on wood right now.
Yeah. You been around?
We travel a lot, man.
Do
yeah,
you?
So yeah. So
Okay.
we like foodies too. Like, you
Oh,
know,
really?
we go bar to bar, food places.
Okay.
Everywhere, man.
Well, that's
Yeah.
one thing we can really all connect on. I bring that one up a lot. Like food, most of us like having sex of some form or another.
Oh, yeah.
We like, there's a few, and like, that doesn't get, it's kind of almost so obvious we don't focus on it, but like, we're all, that's the human shit. It's like, we all like a good meal.
Yeah,
We might
yeah.
have a different opinion about what makes one, but a good meal's, and like, we all like music too usually, but like, maybe not the same, but like music, we're still like something. Do you guys like a particular type of music, or you gravitate towards, or
Country, baby.
Country, baby.
Yeah,
All right.
Garth Brooks, baby.
Okay.
Give us some free tickets, Garth. Come on.
You guys do like podcasts?
Hell yeah. Well, we've been filming, like, we go out usually with music ourselves. He plays drums, I play guitar, and
Oh, okay.
Little commentary.
Might I say
And,
you got some mighty fine spectacles you got there.
Oh,
man.
thank you. I got these at Grocery Outlet for $5.99. They got the highest fashion in the universe.
Shout out Grocery Outlet.
Shout out Grocery Outlet. I take the stuff directly from that store and I put it on the shelf in New York City for 4,000 times what I paid for it, and it sells in a day every time.
Hey, that's right.
Yeah, that's how we keep this whole thing funded.
Hey, heck yeah.
You guys like camping?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Every time I go out there, I should just do this more often.
I go to Colorado, the Rocky Mountains. I've been there 3 times already, man. Me and my brother. Yeah, man.
It's beautiful up there.
Yeah, rent a truck, whatever, and just go out there and sleep in the truck. Last time me and my brother went, man, we snuck into a campground, and the next morning we slept in the truck, snuck into the campground, used the showers and stuff, and then my brother comes off the showers. He's like, oh shit, there's a moose right there, right?
Oh, dang.
It wasn't a moose. That was a big ass brown bear.
Oh.
This thing was huge, man. I was like, bro, my brother can't see for shit.
Damn.
Like,
Oh,
he
wow.
got bottle cap glasses. He's just like, man, I saved his life that day.
Wow, man. It's like a near-death experience or something.
Yeah.
That's intense stuff. You know, that makes you come back the next day. I choked to the point I thought I was going to end. And boy, there was like, I was telling my, I'm like, day 73 to my roommates after that. And literally, it was like, because I'm like, that's first day of the rest of my life. It's fuck. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I really did think that I was a goner, and it was literally a sandwich, and then trying to drink V8 juice on top of it, and just getting lodged, and I couldn't breathe at all. It was a total choke, and I finally, literally in like maybe some of the last moments of my consciousness, I was starting to go, like feel the like, and my adrenaline, and I just, some visceral thing, just, I grabbed my throat with my hands and just squeezed down. It was all, and it was automatic, and it worked. And then dude, even just thinking about it is like intense. That was like over 10 years ago. And I just laid on the ground in my entryway, and I had, for like a half hour or whatever, and none of my roommates were home, but I had tried to drink V8 juice, and I had spurted this V8 juice over myself in the process of the whole thing, and then my roommate came home. When I was laying on the ground, I literally had V8 juice, which looked like red, you know, and I was like on the ground, and that was one of the first things that brought me back, because I'm like, okay, it's not quite what it looks like, holy shit, but I was like, it was rough there for a minute. But man, that kind of shit.
Your mom for fucking choking on Saturday?
On Saturday?
My mom was choking at my nephew's party, man.
Really?
Yeah, she was choking. I was like, man, you gotta drink something, right? And first, you gotta make sure the airway's clear, you know what I mean? So I was like, just drink this down. And she like started drinking it. She's like, all right, that's good like that. But dude, it took her like a whole another like 5 minutes, like just settle down.
Dude, it can be rough. I've had it happen a couple times, but not like that one. But yeah, where it's just, oof.
Yeah.
Scary.
Yeah.
It's scary, but it does.
I did Heimlich, man. I was like, really close.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I got that shit on lock.
Yeah.
You never know.
Have you done it to people before?
No, but I've learned.
You
health
have?
I
class,
did it at Costco too, yeah.
Really?
God
Yeah,
damn.
I work at Costco.
Oh,
yeah.
do you?
Dude
Okay.
was choking on a hot dog, man. Nobody knew what to do. I was like,
Holy shit. And you got it out
yeah,
and it
it was
worked?
like a 90-year-old man.
Holy
Yeah,
shit.
after they like
damn.
they were like giving him compressions and everything like that. I was like, what are you doing? Like, they laid him on the ground while he's choking on. What are you doing, man? So I jumped down.
Whoa.
It came out.
Dude. You still getting Christmas cards, or maybe he's not around?
Oh yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah,
Dude.
Actually, he just went on his way after that. I never got his information. Yeah.
Dude, wow.
Yeah, but
That's intense.
Yeah. What was that? That's a seal right there. It's a California sea lion.
That's right.
Taking down a tuna.
You guys like want some weird art or anything like that? That's a little thing about interconnectedness and some weird shit.
I hang him up in my room, bro. I'll be coming taking his shoes and shit.
Oh, absolutely.
Kind of stuff these guys got.
Is it gonna be an OB this Wednesday then?
That's the idea. If it's not raining, we got rain coming up.
Oh, it should be, but
This is an idea for a place we could crowdfund and build to be a non-profit, do some cool shit with the money. But just the idea of just going and doing an all-out place, but it's a non-profit.
yeah.
You know, most non-profits are kind of like, hey, we do good, but can you just support? That would be like, let's just go there.
Yeah.
But it's a non-profit and does, you know.
I'm booking trimming all the time, man.
Oh, hell yeah.
What,
Dude.
Off regular, shrooms and shit, whatever.
Absolutely.
Tripping off.
Dude, did you hear what Colorado did this last election?
Legalized it, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was there.
You were there?
Well, not for the election or nothing.
No, yeah, but you were there.
Votes or anything,
Yeah,
but
dude.
Yeah, we right
Oh, I'm
after.
so, yeah.
Right after we got
gonna be like the next fucking top shit.
It is, it is, it is, and it's so ready. We're so ready.
Yeah.
We're so ready. I mean, I've never been, you know, the guy's like, everyone just needs to do, you know, shrooms and everything will be fine. That might be oversimplifying it, but boy, for things that really almost just you can't help but to take a step back on perspective a little bit, see some of that out of balance stuff a little more. I mean, it's hard to put it into words, but I absolutely think that is the closest thing to like practically some sort of miracle or something that is even beyond just trying to convince people or dialogue. That's like, you know, once you've had an experience with those things, you don't have to, but like it is, other people have a weird conception of it. They think it's not what it is. They think it's just woo-woo hallucination or whatever. They don't get that it's like, no, you're gonna think about your child and all kinds of things, and you're probably crying because you realize you're an asshole sometimes.
Yeah.
And then you have like an incredible euphoria of acceptance and another thing, and it's like by the end you're like, wow, I'm just glad to be back, kind of. It's like a near-death experience almost.
Yeah, it kind of is.
And it's like not what you it's not what I thought it was gonna be when I first did it, that's for sure. But I so see the value for all of us.
Big
DMV,
like,
shrooms, everything, all that
Yeah,
shit.
for sure.
Yeah, it's so exciting to see it.
Yeah.
Oakland is now, I mean, Santa Cruz now they decriminalized, but I think Colorado's the first place that's going to actually have walk-in. You can get them there. You don't need a prescription. You just need to be an adult or whatever.
Well, out here you get like shroom chocolates and stuff. It's not legal or nothing.
Right, but they're around enough.
Yeah, finally.
Sure. Yeah, yeah.
Ain't gotta hunt them down, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
They come to you now.
Exactly. Yeah, no, dude, one time I tried to get mushrooms off a guy, and he's like, let's go over into this fucking alcove here that's like a walk-up stairwell to a building.
Yeah.
And I had the $40, and he was, well, you know, in retrospect, hindsight's 20/20, and I found it's the one time I've really gotten like actively sort of jacked like this in my life, is he pulls out this bag that's clearly not psychedelic, because he's like on the street, oh, I got shrooms, come on, let's go over here.
Yeah.
And I got my money out, and then he proceeds to pull out this bag that's clearly not psychedelic mushrooms, and I'm like, bro, that's not fucking, and it like just started he's like, come on, man, just fucking get, and I'm just like, I mean, he was definitely bigger than me. He was a large person, and he got aggressive enough. I'm like, this is not worth my $40. Okay, dude, I'll fucking take your shroom. But I mean, it was basically the closest I've been to like held up or something.
Yeah,
just because I was trying to get, you know, and I know a lot of times it doesn't go that way, and I don't want to scare people from trying to find shrooms, even if they can only find it from their friends. But it's kind of ironic that in their purported, it's like this is what it leads to too, is you end up with situations that it's like you want something that's going to be just educate people, treat them like adults, don't put them into weird situations. They're just trying to explore their mind and life and nature and things that have been here for thousands of years, being used by humans for thousands of years. Schedule I drug, no medical use. I mean,
Those are definitely portobellos.
Preposterous. Yeah. It might have been circular cut cardboard wedges. I don't even know what was going on with some sprinkles on top.
They were moist.
I had optimism. I had hopes. I wanted some. Man, I haven't thought about that night in a long time. But it was
I was gonna get a trip out of it either way. I was gonna make myself think I ate it.
I learned a life lesson. I learned, but it is trippy in retrospect too. It's weird how many people in Colorado, like when we were there when marijuana first got legalized, there's always been the argument that like, and if they legalize it, everybody's just going to start doing it, it's societal collapse or whatever. And a lot of people who already smoked weed were like, I think the people that want to smoke are already kind of smoking it. I don't really think it's because the walls are going to be open. But I found it was interesting to go to Colorado. It's kind of somewhere in the middle because there are a lot of people who, like when we were out with our art, they'd come up and they'd have a weed bag, and through no prompting whatsoever, and especially to us, it's kind of funny, like we need the disclaimer, but they were like, oh, and yeah, I have this weed, but I just started smoking, because it's become legal, and they kind of had to like let us know that like, oh, I wasn't like, it's only like now that it's legal, I've sort of started trying it, because, and we're like, it's funny, we're like, yes, okay, but like we don't, but the stigma of that, and for a lot of people, there's a little bit more of like, well, if it's okay now, and they have it in stores, maybe I never want, but it's also like, who wants to go to somebody they don't know that might be sketchy, or that's like, oh yeah, but like, I was surprised, because I did go more the like, people who want it are getting it, but maybe that's because I'm somebody who's, even though I get held up once for shrooms, doesn't generally fear for themselves that way, but for somebody who's more vulnerable, they might just go, I'm not even getting involved in this, trying to score some drug, it's like, but now, they got a little thing and they're going to go explore a little bit, and who knows what might happen. And like that really is, it's cool that that's happening now, but it's so sad that so many people have been kept from it just because of that hurdle. You know, where they might, but now that they are getting it, it's awesome. But there's so many places, it's such a big country and so many people, and there's a fucking huge meth epidemic and opioid epidemic in this country, in case nobody noticed, which I think we fucking have. And if you look at where it's the worst, it's in places where you can't access this other stuff. And is that a coincidence? I don't think so. I try to be impartial sometimes, but not for that one. No. That's pretty obvious. And people who are from there will tell you as much. You got to talk to somebody from there, and they'll tell you about, we're just trying to fucking unwind, but the only things available and the cheapest option is this fucking bag of crystals, and and maybe some liquor, and that's what's around. You can't even score weed, and if you can find it, it's 10 times as much as the crystals, because it's so rare. And that, and but people don't know that. They think it's dude. That's why it's fucked up that this stuff stays illegal, because anyway. But yeah, it's good to see the progress when we do, though, and that's cool. And I don't think it's going back. And so that's one thing to really feel good about it, is I think it's going to expand, it's going to continue, and hopefully with that, when people start having backyard barbecues where they're like, and Shelly actually brought a little bit of something interesting to the potluck, didn't you, Shelly? What did you bring there? Oh, just some soup, try that. And then all of a sudden everybody has that kind of backyard experience that they've never had, and the neighbors are all there, and like, can you imagine? Like a block party or something?
Good old Shelly.
Yeah.
Shelly's here?
Yeah. Invite her back next year.
That's my favorite neighbor.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
We're having a bar mitzvah next week.
That's hilarious. Hell yeah. Dude. That was a pleasure. That might be the positive wave to roll on with. You two are awesome.
Love y'all.
Much love. Thank you so much. You too.
Stuff, man. Love y'all.
Nice meeting you guys.
Thank you. You too.
Good luck with it.
Keep it up. Thank you so much.
Have a good night.
You too, brother.
Yeah. Look at this little prune yard decision over here. That's the greatest. I think every time we say prune yard, we just gotta like throw up the court case, just like a flash.
Prune yard, prune yard, prune yard.
Exactly. This is the spot where the juggler that we met out here, this was the spot where he was talking about, this whole area here, they've got a thing with this space over here, but I might have to bring up the prune yard decision with that one of like public access and private. And we're like, wait, what? That's the thing. Like in Pier 39, we were just there with the private space that had been leased from the city, and this idea that, we've run into in the past that like you do actually even have First Amendment rights on private property, and this is partly why like you'll see people outside like a Whole Foods or whatever in the parking lot, sometimes asking for certain causes or things like that is like it's protected, like as constitutional protected activity because it's public access. And so it's just sort of a subset of all these nestling laws and everything, but it's the prune yard decision. But this is actually the strip where he brought that up, and that gentleman's pretty versed in court cases. He's had to deal with a lot of interactions with law enforcement over the years. He's been doing it for a long time, and we talked to him for a bit earlier, so maybe we'll share some of that with you because he has an excellent exhibition that he did. I thought it was pretty awesome, and so did Joff. See, and herein is the rub, because look, when people actually spend money on infrastructure and make something cool, because this is something that they obviously did here, like, but instead of our taxpayer dollars being used for something else, but like this is what we could do more of this kind of thing in cities instead of having to rely on some, mixture of businesses all pitching in. That's really cool. They do it here like that too. Not to knock that, but like, it's kind of unfortunate that you see some of the most. I mean, come on, look at this. I mean, there's parks, there's city parks that look really nice too, like this, but like, our infrastructure. There's an account I follow online which just compares city streets from like back in the day, photos of the same intersection, and then that shows it today. And what really stands out in the picture is a lot of pedestrians out and people out in different areas, outdoor seating and things. And then it shows what it looks like today. That's the theme, anyway. And there's a bunch of examples of just that movement through time and how that's been what's happening. And you look back at these old photos from the 50s and 60s and 70s or 20s. And it's hard not to go, you know, to think to yourself, it looked a lot cooler then. It looked a lot more fun to go check out and be in and maybe even be around each other when it looks like something that's actually conducive and it isn't just a 5-lane boulevard with a parking lot, you know, whatever. And it's an obvious point on the one hand, but it's also just like, it's real shit. And we want to talk about a society going, we're evolving, everything's better. Look, technology, the new thing, the new this, the new that. It's hard to look at that and say that's a progress of, it's a more maximization of efficiency. It's a more maximization of a giant fucking parking lot and a giant fucking building and just compartmentalization and efficiency. I guess that's evolved. Yeah, that's expanded and evolved, but I think I made the point. I don't think that's the fucking purpose of life, is just to be efficient only. It can be a part of it, but in a lot of ways, there's things you can look at to their progress. There are things where it's our social awareness with each other. In a lot of ways, our respect for each other. In some ways, the awareness of that has grown. In some ways, it does look like people have a long ways to go with respecting each other more. And but I do see a lot of positives, even legally and civil rights and things. And people can get married now that didn't used to be able to. And you can point to some the decriminalization of psychedelics, like we were talking about, marijuana, and we know who to thank for that. And those people are us and ballot initiatives in doing that. But there's things that we're getting better about. Electricity is cool too. I think we can use it in cool ways. I like playing electric guitar. I like, I can see, it's not lost on me. But the boulevard shit and all of our public infrastructure and just that we have so much fewer options that are nice to be around each other and the things it's just bars and what much else. That's why the musical parks and those kind of ideas are on the board, because it's nice to have. We were just shooting pool the other night. I haven't done that in a lot of years, and it was really fun to do. I used to do that a lot more. It's fun to it's kind of a little awkward to just be like, hey, hey. But if you got a little game going, it doesn't, even if you're not taking it seriously, it's just a little, it's nice to have a little thing that you're not just sort of awkwardly facing each other, just using your mouths. It's one reason we like to play music, is I can certainly dominate a conversation, and it's not that I want to dominate it, but sometimes I have things to say. But you can't talk, two people at the same time can't talk. That's just, it's not a good thing, but you can play music together at the same time. You can both be active at the same time. And there's a lot of examples. You can dance together. You can do a lot of things like that, that it's not just a turn-based thing. And the conversation's awesome, and we're having a lot of good ones today, but it's interesting coming to a place like this and just notice the difference of how a space can look with a little effort, probably not an extraordinary amount of effort. I mean, look at this. This is mostly just relying on nature anyway. You don't have to build a boulevard. Just let the ducks be there. You can just let the grass be there. You can put up a little fence that's whatever. And I get it. You're not going to drive a semi-truck through here and make a fucking 400,000 pound delivery either. So yeah, there's some limitations to it. It's not the most maximally efficient thing ever, but check those ducks out. Check those ducks out. Let's get a shot of those ducks. I mean, come on. Enjoying the ducks, enjoying nature, enjoying life. That's what I do think it's about, it's awesome. There's so much to enjoy. And it's nice to see ducks out here and not animals in a fucking zoo or in a cage, just go come to them or foster an environment that they want to come to you, That's cool. I don't have a problem with this. This isn't on the is this okay side. I think this is okay. The ducks can fly away anytime they want, and there's just a nice habitat provided for them, and now people can come up and look. You don't need to put them in a fucking cage. But anyway, this is positive, and I'll keep it that way. But we're in the prune yard zone. You know what that means? We got Zoltar the fortune teller over here. $1. I don't have any money. I gave it to all the other fuckers.
The real people.
The real people. You ain't getting my $1. This is like when you see the. No, these are kind of cool. This is kind of fun. You can't knock this. I do want to kind of put $1 in just to hear what he says, but I don't have one, so that's too bad. Do you have one?
Let me check.
It could be our cosmic fortune here.
Oh. Technology.
Oh, Jesus Christ, look at that. Zoltar takes fucking Cash App
God damn it.
I don't really want to do this.
You sell
I don't
out.
want to do this.
You sell out. I'm gonna do it.
Okay. This is your choice at this point. Soltar, you got any thoughts about the state of our society and what we might expect out of the future? What a rip. Fucking Zoltar took your credit card information and he gave you a fucking fortune, dude. We're not showing any of this, it doesn't matter. It's ridiculous. Let's keep this real. Let's keep rolling. That's I don't know what I think about that. Look at this fancy shop. Look at one of their main pieces there. Nice piece of nature. None finer. Nothing needed. Nothing needed to add. I guess they did cut it open, and maybe that's a good metaphor. I was talking about, you know, how do we kind of find a balance? And it's like, if you think about that, this is a geode that was cut open. And it's like, you could make the argument that you wouldn't find that in nature. That was inside in a raw form. It actually took a blade that had been made out of metal that you had to run down it to make that smooth cut, to open it up, to look like that. Maybe if you tried to just smash it open, it wouldn't have worked so nicely as to show that. And maybe that's the way we use technology, is to amplify nature and to let it shine and to help it be all it can be, maybe in a way that there is some way to, you know, like enhance the aesthetics in some way like that, or that we can use it, but that ultimately just recognizing that's kind of the best shit. And that like all this other stuff we manufactured, our plastic and stuff, is just like kind of a lame attempt to make something that looks like that anyway. And they're like, the best shit's already here. Like, look what we paint our electrical boxes. Like, do I need to say any more? This is exactly what it is right here. It's already the best shit. We're doing a little thing. President's Day, just about our country.
It's about our country?
Yeah. And optimism, hopefully, but even things that trouble you. You want to talk for a second? Okay. Yeah. Cool. Thanks. My name's Alex.
Okay, her name's Alex.
Oh, really? Pleasure to meet you. Awesome.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi.
This is Joff.
Joff.
Hey, Joff.
Hello.
Nice to meet you both. Just come out for the day, enjoy the day.
Yeah, just have some fun. Just be by the water.
Hell yeah. It was the one sunny day it looked like, really. You probably looked at the forecast maybe. And
Yeah, it was nice.
Exactly. You know, I don't know what gives you hope, or what you may be putting your, I guess you're at an age, and we've talked to some older folks, but you're at an age where you might be heading more into the main parts of your life and thinking about like where you want to put your energy or things like that, and what's important to you that way. And
I'm just trying to take it day by day.
We could go.
I'm thinking about it, but definitely, I really don't know for sure. But definitely like thinking about it.
Where you like to spend your time, or?
I mean, we go to like a lot of concerts.
Do you? Awesome.
Like music is really cool for
Great.
us. Yeah.
Great. Well, that's an easy answer for me to hear. I mean, I love music, and same. That's a big part of life. That's.
Yeah.
Do you play at all? You ever experiment with that?
No, she has a keyboard and guitar.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
Just play a little bit.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah, it's so fun to do, to pick up, and infinite challenge.
Yeah.
There's always something new to learn and be a little frustrated by it, but then be satisfied when you get it.
Yeah, no, it's a great time. We spend a lot of time together. Yeah,
Do
we're
you?
roommates.
Yeah,
so we share a room.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So we're two peas in a pod.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's like you can relate then deeper when you're around each other. It's hard to.
Yeah.
It's hard to pick that up with a stranger, and yet here we are. So that's kind of fun too. We can relate on things.
That's very true.
It's part of why it's cool how that was like, oh, music. Oh, well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now we just saved ourselves.
Yeah.
Hey, have you heard about music? And we're Alex. And we're Alex. And it's culty. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Yeah, music.
Oh my God, you just ate shit. Oh, that's terrible.
Did he just fall over? What just happened?
Yeah, he just fell pretty hard.
Oh shit.
Hope he's alright. He took it like a champ. Yeah.
Looks like it sobered him up.
Yeah. He's persevering.
He's persevering.
He's got
Absolutely.
it.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. He's taking it day by day. Yeah. Aren't we all?
Uh-huh.
Aren't we all?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That sounds like, have you been thinking about, do you feel a little like unsure then maybe in particular of like what the hell where is this heading?
Yeah, like
Okay.
I mean like I just started school again recently, and I kind of like don't really know. So we're just like taking it day by day, make decisions day by day.
Yeah. Well, you seem pretty. You're pretty. I don't mean to say you're pretty young or whatever, but like it's like I was like into my 30s before I really felt like I started to find more the core of like, okay, these are the things that are important. Like, I knew more in those days what I didn't want to become, kind of thing. And you get that first initial like, well, I don't want to do that. For me, that was like a cubicle kind of reality or something very repetitious and like, definitely don't want to do that. And I ended up waiting tables because it was just something like I can make a kind of a decent amount of money for the hour, but I don't have to be here all of my life. And that was the first thing. I'm like, at least my time is like, then I can do, and I like music. I was trying to just kind of do a band or something for a while. It was like, that was the one thing when I just looked at society, it was like, well, sometimes every very rare once in a while, you can actually kind of form, even if it's not like Led Zeppelin, even if it's just somebody nobody even hears of, but you just put up your own flyers and press your own stuff and get a van and do the thing. You can do that without having to go to the day job, and like that always just hit me as like, well, okay, that's definitely better than any other option I've seen. And then I ended up kind of ironically going out with the guitar and a case, and just for some reason, I guess we made some band stickers, but I realized I'd scanned some of my drawings, and just a little early I doodled a little bit too, and hadn't done too much with it, but used that for some band poster stuff, and we made stickers. And one time I was like, maybe I'll put some of these in my guitar case when I go out, and it'll be like, hey, if you want to leave something, now I have a little something you can be like. And people really responded to that, and it was like almost, and it surprised me. I thought it was probably better than I thought. It was like, I thought, well, maybe, and it was like, oh yeah, oh, this is cool, and hey, how much do you want for the, and all of a sudden it was like, oh shit, like, and not that money is what life is about at all, but when you're trying to pay your rent, and trying to maybe not have then a job you're going to, and trying to pay your bills, gas or whatever, like things life costs money, and you can't steal it all, you know. But truly, even if you wanted to, there's a limit. You need to get by, and so when that happened, and I realized literally the first day, I was like, I could actually eat more than just food for today out of what's in that guitar case, and mainly because of these prints. I ended up kind of hitting the road with the prints in my artwork, and that was like 12 years ago, and that's more what we've both done over years. It's just done prints of our artwork, and doing that, using technology with music or with whatever to kind of amplify what you're doing creatively, that for us has been hugely, we're gonna have the technology around and stuff, and like making prints. I don't know if you draw at all or do anything like that.
She actually does. I draw a little bit,
Okay.
Sick. Little things.
Okay. Hey, oh, just for fun, and exactly, and that's why I always do too, and still, it's so easy to make prints and stuff too, and just get a scan and then go take them to it. You know, it doesn't have to cost that much for one, and then you can share something. That allowed me to start doing drawings that were really longer form, but then I could make a print and just go, here you go, check it out.
We have a friend that does like a lot of cool art, and he like sells it online and stuff.
Oh, really?
On
Nice.
like Redbubble and stuff like that.
Okay, I think I've heard of that. Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's the thing. It's getting to be more and more that at least there's some of the technology. It can help. It can empower. Definitely. That's one thing about it. Even though the other half of the time it's like the pessimism is there on some of the way it's doing to us too, and the polarization stuff. It's that too. That too. It was just trippy to kind of see it all. It's just a powerful thing. Technology. It's like electricity itself or something. Like, you can use it to just chainsaw someone up too. Like, it's not just good, but look what it's been able to be used for too. Or same with anything. Fork, you know. Don't put it in his leg, but don't make them illegal. It's like, you know, it's.
He's definitely good and bad. No, I get you. Makes sense. Especially with like social media and stuff. Like there's definitely like a lot of bad to it, but it's used for a lot of good stuff.
We found out, we were just talking about, like, we started throwing our stuff up on like YouTube, but we just film ourselves and go out doing music, but we've been having conversations with people a little more. That was why today, this is the first we've done it like this. I feel a little exposed right now, because normally there's like other things, you know? But this is fun. Thank you again for like, you know, indulging and talking, because it's just fun to do something different, but you know, there's been a lot of talk about the problems of the country, and some people are like, just burn it all down because it's all just colonialism and what happened, and like, and absolutely, there's the horror, like the whole basis of it was rough, the way we military-industrial complex just perpetuates horror around the world.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's not to go too deep and heavy, but like, yeah, that is some of what we also, because it's important. It's causing problems, and most importantly, it doesn't seem like it's an inevitable, has to be that way kind of situation. A lot of it's being driven by profit and all the kind of the pharmaceutical industry in a lot of way, and all, you know, all of that stuff is, I can't totally just focus on the positive.
Yeah.
But there's enough, I can focus on it. I could just focus on just plain, you know, pinball for the rest of my life. There's enough machines and enough clubs and enough things. You know, you can make your world almost a lot, and it's cool. It's one of the coolest things about life is you can get lost in these worlds. People go kite surfing. People do that. It becomes their whole life, and it's amazing. That's some of the most awesome stuff. But it makes it unfortunately it's a little easy to out of sight, out of mind it with some of those things that, like, I do feel like if there was Yemen out here instead of the Bay, we might have a little more of a conversation about why it looks like it does and what's happened to those folks.
Right.
And that kind of thing, and that it's out of sight, out of mind to a degree, and that it's not that we don't care, and it's not. I hope the people around the world know that a little bit about us. From what I've talked, it seems like they kind of understand. Like, we know the government and you are not the total same thing, but yeah, I think that keeps things going more than they need to, just because it's such a big world. But like the fact that we have the reach that we do, our taxpayer dollars and stuff too, the way where it's used in the wrong ways. But we have changed law with ballot initiatives and done some kind of cool things. Colorado just decriminalized all psychedelics there.
Yeah, I heard that.
Did you? Okay, cool. Yeah, and it's like, I totally think that's the right move, and like it just makes me think, what else could we do with that?
Right.
And especially, what else could we do with it if we could just use the internet to gather the signatures and expedite? That could be really transformative. Like, we can literally write I can't violate people's rights.
Right.
But we can write laws.
Yeah.
Like, that's, you know, and I talked to some people about this in some of the Burn It Down set. They don't like that idea because they're like, no, the whole system is just, it's fucked from the core.
Yeah.
And I understand that perspective, but like, there's like, okay, is the idea that you can have different beliefs or wear the type of outfits that you want and not get put in jail? Do you want to burn that down too?
Yeah.
Like, isn't that, like, there are some things here that we're doing right.
Yeah.
Even if we're not doing them completely right, or even if we treat some people with more of those rights than other people, and like, absolutely. But the idea of that free country, you can be as long as you're not hurting people yourself, you don't have to worry about getting locked up for having the wrong God belief or something. I don't think we should burn down that idea. Like, there's some things, and some of that's built into some of just, they're documents, they're constitutions. I mean, that's just words on paper, but it is what it is, and they're already there. And so I'm willing to work with it to a degree. The bureaucracy is not fun. The cubicles, as I said, is not where I want to spend my life, and neither is the courtroom, but it might just be a little more bang for the buck if we just put a little energy there instead of just completely being like, until it's all just smoldering.
Yeah.
And then there is no satisfaction to be had and nothing better, all or nothing. So, I don't know if you've ever heard anybody talk about electronic signature gathering for ballot initiatives, but now you have.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's a...
We love you.
Hey! Yeah. Loving you. Great to see you too. That's right.
You guys are popular.
That's right.
Yeah,
We're making friends down the road. You know, you probably heard, it's like, understandably, and not that you always want to launch into like, well, you know, electronics, but there might be a time and a place if somebody's truly like, God, it's fucked, or a particular issue. Like, we don't like how people are being put in cages at the border. Like, we can make a law in the state of California that says there is absolutely no need to be people in cages just that are trying to immigrate here peacefully. What the fuck are we doing? And I think we would probably vote on that and pass it. We should probably have checks and balances there to make sure not just the floodgates, because there's dangerous people. Like, sure, I don't know. I'm not even waiting. I don't know what to do there. But my only point is, you know, that's complex. But like, if you're peaceful and you want to be part of being a healthy, prosperous society, what the hell are we doing making it hard for you to get here? That's how this all started. Let's not forget. And that is the history. And like, fucking, how dare you sit there and be like, land of opportunity, but everybody stay out unless it's a small amount. That's silly. That's silly. And for the people that are just like, America, 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 #1 in the world, well, listen, there's a lot of countries that have way more people than we do, that some of their government politics isn't quite so savory. Now, doesn't it make sense to let people into the country that are going to be prosperous, part of our society, and not here illegally so they can't pay their taxes, but maybe actually let them get here legally so they can pay their taxes, and then you won't sit there and look at them like they're just in here grifting, because we have the law that made them illegal in the first place. No shit. But if they're peaceful, they should just be here making this country great and strong and all of the thing. You should think that too. You should be pro-immigration for people that are coming here to be part of this thing. That's really unifying. We need to talk about that too. Does that make sense? Think about that.
Mic drop.
I'm going fourth wall over here. That's one I haven't gotten into too much, but it really is. There's all of us in a weird. It's the same with the defense spending. It's the same thing. The traditional hippie on the left, we'll just do it. I never like to use these words, but it's like anti-war. Don't spend the money because we're anti-war. But honestly, the people on the other side are like, keep the money at home. They don't like to see that either. It's an issue we kind of agree about, but for different reasons maybe. But none of us like to see money wasted on violent shit that doesn't benefit us, except some companies. Who likes to see that? There's been nobody that's looked at that pie chart yet that said that's a reasonable ratio. Half of our federal budget is going to defense, and in all these other little pie slices is every other aspect of our society, except for Medicare and veterans money, because that's not discretionary, and so it's an extra part of the budget. But the part we decide on, it's crazy to see. We made this graphic. There's hardly one of these graphics out there yet. Just check this out. This is our 2023 federal discretionary budget.
Oh wow. Damn.
The smallest one though, I do remember, Small Business Administration. The smallest absolute, you can't even see it. It is a 1/800th the almost 800 billion, which now is inflated beyond this. This was just the proposal when this got made. It's even bigger than that now because some of it grows when they go and pass it. Not only will we pass it, we'll pass it more than you ask. How about watch this? But yeah, that's our money, and that's how they spend it.
Crazy.
And again, not anti-military. I am anti-war and violence, but I recognize the dynamics that there's a time and a place that we need those folks. Absolutely, and respect to them to do it, because I don't want to have to do that. That's dangerous. It's a great way to die, and I want to spend my life doing something else. But thank you for doing that. If you do, in a time of true need, this isn't about that. This is a complete waste, and this is going in the pockets of people with a few businesses, and it's our fucking money, and they're after it, and the laws get passed that way because that's just what it's about. It's a big cash grab. Obviously, we don't need it to be that big. It's insane. We have like 800 bases around the world or something like that. It's like
in less than 200 countries on planet Earth, but 800 bases around the world.
Yeah,
it's baffling.
Yeah, but one other thing that I've never heard them talk about is the reserves, like the idea of the reservists. If you sign up, you maybe get your college paid for, but if you don't get called up, you don't have to go, but you still get your, you still get paid. Yeah. So it's kind of a cool gig. And the thought is well, we're so in bed with these private companies like Lockheed Martin and Boeing and all these companies that they make washing machines and stuff too. Lockheed Martin doesn't make much else actually, and that one's a particular issue. But a lot of these companies, they make multiple things, but they also make our war manufacturer. And I can see both sides enough, or some different sides enough to know that people will be like, yeah, you can't just yank the rug of profit incentive hippie, or else they'll all just kind of, you won't have, how are you're gonna destabilize the military, and so unfortunately maybe we are so dependent on them now that we are there, but the profit incentive seems to be unnecessary. And so the idea is much like the reservists. What if we treated these companies that way? Paid them up front at the beginning of the year and said, you get a contract. They would still have to compete for the contract, kind of. So as far as free market capitalism competition, this isn't totally just a socialized military manufacturing. They would still have to compete for the contract. So there's your incentive for a good product. I didn't include that earlier. That's in the little written thing. We'll put that up. But check it out. This is really, and this is something I've never heard anybody talk about. And just again, if you take anything away, it's something, if you, whatever. Part of this is we hope these ideas ripple out a little bit. Because it's not just this has got to be part of the bigger conversation. But the bigger conversation is be things are fucked and we don't know what the fuck to do. And Jesus, and let me just go over here. So this is trying to kind of go combat that a little bit, I guess, if you want to combat being maybe not the best word, but. So yeah, treating them like the reservists and saying, okay, you bid for the contract. If you get it because you look like you're just so together with you can make the best F-16s or whatever we need, we give you this money up front, which is maybe not quite as big as that pie chart, but an amount that we're not going to destabilize you economically and all the things where they say, well, we can't just get a profit and that's the whole thing is dependent up front. But then when we need you, if we need you, but probably when even a little bit, the manufacturing happens it's at cost or at a flat rate kind of thing where it's compensated out of the some way so that you've already been compensated and now you have to do it at cost. We'll still compensate you the extra cost, but there's not going to be a profit incentive there. You've gotten the lump sum is to cover the profit and the costs, and then that you just, if you make what you make, then you have to just take up your machines to make the stuff, but you're not getting more from that. So really now you're kind of incentivized to keep your machines for making that so you can keep making washing machines, collect your money up front, and maybe even make more money at the end of the year, and your whole incentive becomes, let's keep things chill, collect our subsidy, not have to make much. Fewer bombs. It's pretty crazy. I think that's a pretty crazy fucking idea, and I know I really put a bow on that at the end. Like it's not a perfect idea. I'm sure that it is. I'm not an economist. I'm not a, but I think there's something to that idea of like flipping the script a little bit, still having them be part of it in a time of need, and not destabilizing them. And again, I've never heard it. So does that sound reasonable? Does that make sense? I don't know. Does that seem? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it sounds. I mean, I don't know much about like about everything.
I know
else, but it seems like it makes sense. To me.
I mean, it's just, and maybe, if you just think of the reservist as a way to kind of remember the concept of it, it'd be just the kind of the same thing. You just sign. Oh, you want to be weapons manufacturer? Okay, you sign up. If we need you, cool. Let's give you this check up front to make sure you're happy. But then when it happens, you've already. So you don't really want it to happen now. Like most of the reservists are kind of like, I'm guessing if you really are about going and just getting in there, whatever might be going on, you're not going to sign up for the reservists.
Yeah.
Reservists are like, be sure cool to maybe get college paid for so I'm not $100,000 in debt and not get exploded. Truly. And that's and I would get, and for the companies then the exploded would be exploded with orders where shit, we can't even make washing machines now. Because there's so much war happening, we gotta and we've already got compensated, but dang, this is cutting into our bottom line. We want to make washing machines now and just collect the subsidy. And it seems like it might be possible. They literally could even make more money as companies doing that, because what they're doing is making all this shit at expensive cost and just going and exploding it. It's like it's a waste, and there's part of that money is a waste too. It's like they could actually keep the money that right now they're just exploding, because that's part of the equation. Like, we gotta go use the bombs now to justify it. But this would be like, just keep the materials, keep the bombs, keep the money, keep the fucking peace going, and then that is the way, and that's I don't know. So that's one of the things on the board that we don't have out there, but that we like to talk to people about, because it's just that's not part of the conversation.
Right.
Sure. Ballot initiatives are a little bit more people are aware of. The electronic signature gathering, one guy has done an attempt. There's been people that have been, those waters have been tread. And probably people have talked about this too that I'm just not aware of, but it's something that just came out of a lot of thinking and talking and just, not anywhere else. So not to take claim, whatever, but it's just as far as like this literally, that's never talked about. So something to take into the future. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's definitely like good to think about things like that, like things that affect everybody.
Yeah, especially with our taxpayer dollars. Like we should be, the fact that, I mean, again, President's Day. Politicians, and it would have been kind of cool to see Bernie Sanders was maybe one of the closest people where you go, he talked a good talk, at least. It would have been interesting to see him get in. I would have. We see how the Democratic Party totally just like took him out of the equation by leaving people in that did, all that collusion, and it really, the two-party system's absolute dominance and failings at the same time were no better shown than what they did to him in that last time, but we don't need that anymore. That representative politics came from when the colonies were using people on horseback to go back to Washington, D.C. and be like, we need more fucking gunpowder. Number 1. Number 2, booze. And chainsaws. But like, whatever, that was the idea. Representative politics was like literally on horseback. We go, and it's like, we do have, Switzerland does not have, that I'm aware of, they don't have laws passed by people other than themselves. They do it's a direct democracy there. It's one of the few places where they actually do that. They vote 4 times a year. We vote once every 4 years, at a federal level. I think it's kind of an interesting, I think we can vote 4 times a year. Fucking do this, or at least tear it down. President's real power seems like the people they appoint, like the head, like that pie chart. Each one of those slices, there's a head of all those departments, like the Secretary of Defense, Secretary of Education, the Environmental Protection Agency, and those kind of things. And the president appoints those people. So it seems like maybe if we just voted for those people, that would be better.
Right.
and just vote for a mascot, and we can vote for a mascot.
Yeah.
And we can have a mascot.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
okay, you guys got the
Right,
you know, whatever color bird or whatever thing you did that you like, you know, and then this year it's the porcupine or whatever. But
I'm down with a capybara.
capybara mascot.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
If it's a two-party mascot system, I'm gonna be upset. It needs, if it's gonna be a mascot system, we need to break out of the two-party system for mascots too. But seriously, the idea of like, I think those are who we should be voting for. Is like the Secretary of Education, the Secretary, like, because those are people to decide then with that pie slice of our money, how are they allocating of it? Are they taking art and music education out of schools?
Yeah.
Which they are. Well, that's not representing me. Is that representing you? Loaded question. Is that representing you?
No.
Yeah, no way. So that's another kind of thought on President's Day. Maybe voting for those people instead. Just calling the other thing what it is. They can go shake hands and be face people or whatever.
Yeah.
Let's get some that can string a sentence together actually halfway eloquently. That would be nice. You know, any of them. It's been a while. A couple of those other guys, a couple back, you know, Obama and Clinton knew how to really do a good job smiling at you while they drop bombs on innocent people at the same time. Sorry, everybody. Sorry, everybody. Okay, Obamacare was the closest thing we got. Okay, yeah, okay. Still drones. It's rough. You can't just be like, that's a great thing that happened there during those 4 years.
Yeah.
Even if there was positives about that and representation of people at different levels of office. Of course, that's beautiful to see that. It's not a complete, it's not a complete story, you know, there too, and all that. It's just too bad that they are just the maintainers of that thing, you know, in a lot of ways. But while smiling at you,
Yeah.
and being like, it's so good to, you know, at least they could do it.
Yeah.
The last couple, it's been hard to be proud of, you know. Both of them, honestly, I think.
Yeah.
And not to get too direct. You're getting some yes. I mean, honest to goodness. Oh, sure, Paul, I could see, maybe I agree with this policy here more or
Right,
not.
right.
Of course, but like, that is a fucking embarrassment. Both of them. I never talk about both of them, and I won't name them more than both of them. But we all know who both of them are.
Yeah.
And I think they both came out of their moms, babies, with innocence and huge potential. 100%. I don't think either of them are evil. I don't even think evil exists. I think confusion exists and reality exists. And evil does not. It's just confusion. And then confusion and reality with a lot of gasoline on top of it is dangerous as fuck. And that's what happens. So you go, and then you go, well, that's an evil person. No, it's a confused person with a lot of power. But yeah, both these last two, it's like, good God, is this really what we're doing here? Everybody's like, can The Rock be president, please? God, can it just be The Rock at least?
I love it, The Rock was president.
I heard that he's running.
That's
Get the fuck
I saw
out.
that on Twitter.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Rumors abound, man.
Yeah, I heard
That's right.
Oprah was running too, but that never really happened.
That would be
Man,
awesome.
she'd give everybody cars.
Dude, it'd be amazing. Be amazing.
Yeah, no.
There's so much, yeah. It'll be sure interesting to see what goes down these next bit. We're in such a weird time. All this,
Oh, for
just
sure.
the internet and stuff. You guys have grown. I mean, I grew up around it too. I had a little bit more, just a little more taste of the before times.
Yeah.
But like it is, you know too how fresh it is, and you saw the earlier days of it and how much it's changed. And just in the last 10 years, it's been crazy to see the full move over in a lot of ways. Like every fucking window's got a QR code. Every window's got an Instagram page. Like it just.
Cars have Instagram pages.
Dude.
Yeah, their Instagram.
Dogs have Instagram pages.
Dude, for real.
Yeah.
It's wild. It's wild. And not all good, not all bad, but hugely transformative.
Yeah.
Hugely. And I think some of the better ways is that it is, for a minute there, it was like NBC News and the real corporate, that was the like cultural influence, and it is allowing us a bit more of our own, that DIY, you know, people that are becoming like known just for doing their own things or putting that out on their own without needing a corporate label to sign them or that kind of thing. Dude, that is becoming more possible through some of that.
Yeah.
Even just like making prints. Even 30, 40 years ago, making prints was like 4 or 5 colors. It was more of a different kind of machine. You were a little more limited, or if you wanted to do the real good glossy stuff, you had to do huge orders, so then it wasn't. Now you can, I mean, you can go to Kinko's and get some prints made. That's, you know, so good to focus on that.
Yeah, there's good stuff. Yeah, good and
Yin
bad.
yang. What can you do?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important to talk about the bad stuff, but it's good to still see the good stuff, so you don't just feel like hopeless and everything.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. That's what it's all about. That's what the goal was for today, and it certainly has happened, and that's been awesome talking with you, because that's like a big part of today's hope, was that just talking to people a little bit and not just basing it on the headlines or the comment section or whatever, just getting some perspective from people. We haven't had one conversation we probably won't like use something for that wasn't had. There's not one that's like, well, that was just kind of, I don't know what they had to say about it. Like, they've all been, literally everyone. There's been a couple people that's like, I'm not sure if I'm ready to jump into the internet there.
Right.
You know, and of course, I could easily say that on some mornings too, you know, or whatever. But everybody we've talked to today, it's been cool to have the conversation and to just feel way more relating.
Yeah.
You know, than maybe I was expecting. You know. So thanks for that too, on your own, for your willingness, and that's really cool. I know it's not even common to just be like, hey, do you want to just straight? It's always a little like, whoa, what's this gonna turn into? Or are you trying to sell me something or what? You know, and it's like we're not used to it. It's fun. It's fun to just kind of poke out a little bit and say, hey, what's going on over here? You know?
Yeah.
It's fun.
No, for sure. I think a lot of people are more educated now, especially like the younger people.
Yeah, and I feel like the internet helps with that too. Like just being able to like have full access to so much information as to like at other times before you have the internet, it's kind of like just what you hear from like your little like spot that you're in, you know.
Or you have to go to like a library to like find the exact book, and how do you like look for something you've never heard of before? Yeah, the internet's great and horrifying, but also beautiful.
There's also a lot of like bad information on the internet.
Of course.
Like, misleading and stuff like that, but it's definitely like it's nice to have like an outlet for that.
100%.
What do you feel about like Bitcoin?
What the fuck is Bitcoin? About it. I was just talking about Bitcoin because I was confused of like how it has any type of like profit. Like how is Bitcoin worth anything? It's just like money on the internet,
like,
right?
I don't understand NFTs. Like, you're paying all this money to own an image when I can screenshot it and keep it myself.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I'm just confused.
I don't know if it's ignorance, but like I just I don't.
Yeah,
get
well,
it.
no, and I'm not that. But there's because me too. With the Bitcoin, I knew a little earlier on why I was like, okay, I think I see why the value. With the NFTs, I was definitely like, I don't get this.
Yeah.
With the NFTs, all right, the battery's gone. We gotta get this while it's hot here. Where were we? Oh yeah.
Bitcoin.
Well, the NFT, but the NFTs too. The thing I heard about it is like, since these things, there's so much commodification to them, and that people are trading them or selling them, and that it's like a market. It's like anything. You could even just like model trains at a certain point. You go, you got to be into it to be into it. There was also a thing called like Beanie Babies for a while, so you got to be careful with like, you got to be careful with everything that's all of a sudden like, you know. So I'm not speaking for them, but this is what I know about them that I thought, oh well, that is cool. So the NFT thing is like, it's built into it. That like you can write in these like kind of almost contractual things, so that like if you are an artist who makes something and sells it to someone on the prospect that like, well, you're a good artist and maybe this thing will be worth more. You know, this whole, again, I don't normally engage in this, but what you can build into it is that like I'll sell it to, or they'll sell it to a person for X amount. But then built into it is if you resell it later, and this goes from being worth $300 and I'm selling it to you now, and then it's worth $300,000 in 10 years, and then you sell it, I get residuals on transactions in the future. And so it's almost like you're investing into your future self, because then you can sell your art at a price that can sell when you're not maybe as known, but then if it becomes worth millions later, because a lot of artists have had that happen. They initially sold something for $100, and it's getting sold at Sotheby's for $200 million, and they see none of it, which is it's just its own.
Like Vincent Van Gogh.
I'm not right. A lot of well, and after they're dead, for them, who the fuck cares? But even while you're alive, right. Even when you're alive, it's happened to some people where that's happened, and they're like, and it is kind of, you can see how like, well, that does kind of, I mean, in a way that kind of sucks, and yet, I mean, whatever. I'm not making a comment on that. It is what it is. But the idea with the NFTs is that it kind of allows that, so that if it does become something, that the original person who made it, even if it started out more vague and unknown, they still get a little bit of their like, just even a percentage, you know. And I was like, all right, well, that's at least not a screenshot, like and so that's the thing, and you can write into the code, which is then on the blockchain, which the blockchain gets into what Bitcoin is too. And Bitcoin is just an application of a decentralized network. And this is a big one because a centralized network is like a corporation, CEO, management, middle management, workers, etc. Top-down structure. The CEO's got the keys to every room in the building. This person only has keys to run room in the building and then points between somewhere in between. The idea with the decentralized and computers right now, the way that they're networked through like network service providers, Google, social media networks are centralized. If the social media network tomorrow wants to go, we just yanked everybody's things from everywhere, and you can't go here now. They can, and that kind of thing. People get a little squirrely about that have like even made a lot of their like self dependent on that, but that it's so subject to just like recourse and then people getting taken down for political viewpoint. It gets into a whole bunch of waters there, very important waters too. I mean, that I think too, it's not just like, you know, it involves very basic things about how we can express ourselves too and not be censored or other types of things. But the decentralized network is basically, instead of having a central mother computer or something that's like running the applications that all the other pods, when we log on, we're logging on like this from all over to this like central place, and then it holds all the information, and then when I want to see your stuff, I access it through this thing, and then it goes, okay, let us go get that for you. Here you go. Here's what Alex said. And that's the way it works right now. The decentralized network is basically, in general terms, every computer on the network, or whenever any action happens, a transfer of information, there is already a record that is on everyone's system. You're like your own individual computer or phone or something. It's like it's called a ledger with Bitcoin, but it could be used for anything. People have been talking about how this could be used for voting and things because it gets into like that it's more secure, but I'm getting ahead. They're all connected to each other, so before anything can happen, if I want to get you that picture, everyone else on the system already knows all the pictures that I have in a way, but they don't. It's not accessible. It wouldn't even be, it's just that it's informationally verified. I am in possession of X9234 file. Like, you know, it can still be anonymous. It's just that the computers all have to agree that, does Alex have this file to even give? So then when I give it to you, and especially with money or something, this is why it gets more serious. You can't just invent money. Right now you can invent money all day, and they do. Yeah. Just printing it up, and it's who knows where, and gold standard's gone, and it's all, we're in some real open waters with that. But with the Bitcoin, the idea is there's only 21 million of these things. There will only ever be 21 million, and everybody's computer or system on the system already has a ledger of where they all are and what's happening. So if anybody just tries to insert some outside thing, the computer, well, that's not what they have. They don't have that. So it goes transaction denied. You know? So every computer on the system has to give the pass off for anything on the system to happen. Now that probably takes a lot more computing power, which is probably why this is a relatively more recent thing. Right. But that's where you can't just get any central person to come in and like, yes, for the sake of like voting or elections or money, just go, well, here's what actually happened. Let's just push this on you now. Which they could do now. I mean, Facebook wanted, they could change all of our profiles to be swastikas if they wanted, or some crazy shit if they want. I mean, that's ridiculous to say that, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you just be like, oh shit, what the fuck has happened here? Like, or just a hacker or something, or like, you know, whatever. Yeah. Zuckerberg back in. He's like, I am human. Watch. This will be funny. Zuckerberg, not funny. You missed the idea. Nice try.
We were just talking about it.
Oh my god.
We were talking about all of this actually. Just
really?
We were like, what the fuck is President's Day? Put the kids back in school. We were talking about what were we talking about? The housing climate. Why the fuck is it so expensive to live? Like,
shit. Here we go.
I have 2 jobs.
Now we're rolling.
I have 2 jobs. I can barely afford to pay my rent. That should not be a thing.
100%.
Absolutely.
Yo, you just turned on the sound system out here. You're passionate.
Yeah. It's insane.
Yeah, it really truly is. Do you have student debt yet?
No, not yet.
Yeah, get real sure about that you need to before you do, and that's the thing. If I could tell myself something different back then, I just out of high school was just like, well, if you're not going to college, what are you doing? Working at a gas station the rest of your life? And even then, it's like almost impossible things with my same person, because now I've changed so much that it's like, I can't believe I did this and didn't, but the true peer pressure of like, you're just going to go to high school and then not go to college, and like, what are you trying to just, what are you doing? Like, oh, I'm trying to make a band happen. Yeah, good luck. Why don't you go to college? And so, like, I did, like, and I went for like a year or a year and a half, and it just slowly by the end there, it was just like, how do you, I got, and partly too, the college fund was like, that was about it. So I was just have to start paying for it myself.
Right.
And that truly was like, all right. But like, I like learning and stuff, and I remember having a conversation with my mom.
Help me.
Because it was gonna be like, okay, I gotta have the I'm dropping out of college conversation now.
Yeah. No, that's
y'all can relate. You'll be there.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
They got none of these problems.
Oh, but they will.
They're living their best life right now.
Exactly.
Like, this is, I wish I could go back to those
I know.
Amen.
I do. We can. It's, you got to strip back some layers a little bit, you know. But we get there sometimes. We get there sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm in school right now, but I'm in, like, community college, so I'm paying for it, like, all out of pocket.
That's what I was doing too. That's what I was doing too.
It's very expensive.
Yeah, it still is. That's the thing. I was like, I can't afford this. And I remember having a conversation with my mom because it was like, all right, I got to do the I'm dropping out of college conversation now. But I just said, oh, I'm sorry. But I just said, I want to keep learning, but like for how expensive this is, like these textbooks, literally just textbooks, and anybody knows is gonna, it's like, oh, this is $140 for this textbook, huh? Get the fuck away from me. Like, this is ridiculous, you know, that is so silly. And I was like, I can go to the bookstore and get half of these books. Like someone like they made you buy them through the bookstore at the college and shit. Like
she just had to buy
some
$100 book for her physics class. It was like, you're telling me you can't get that shit online for free?
100%.
Are you kidding me? The class was already like $150, and then they were like, yeah, you need this whole like website like account. There was another $120.
What a racket.
Like, oh.
Like,
A racket.
I don't understand it. And then they act like we're rich. Like, I'm sorry. Like, we're not poor, but we're like,
no.
Like, what the hell?
Also, but well, they just recognize this is people need access to like, they got a sweet thing going, except they're not even hardly doing a great job at it when they're there. I mean, it's like, we got a lot of better education in some ways in a lot of parts of the world, not to totally shit on it, but then also there's like a few thousand schools in the country that don't even have a single art, music, or theater program at all. So how great are we doing? I mean, that's being crazy, you know? And even when I went to community college, there was fucking black wreaths on all the doors of like mourning because the teachers had gotten like, some of them laid off and they were like on strike, and everybody was like, just like this place. They were not enthusiastic teachers, and that's definitely, you got enthusiastic teachers, that helps, you know? And I had a couple over schooling, but generally it was not a good experience for me. Did not resonate with it at all. And really, like, I don't want to say it traumatized, but like, it's hard not to think those words. That's the word I want to say, and I don't want to be dramatic, but I really had anxiety about that. I know Joff did too. We went from doing homeschool, and then for a while, and then when he went to public school and the transition to just getting thrust in this environment, he had a huge problem adjusting to that, and he's talked to me about, you know, about that, and he's nodding his head behind the camera there. It's like, yeah, this is.
I'm only quiet because I'm trying not to interfere with a lot of the sound that's happening here. But yeah, it was a huge culture shock. Just kind of like growing up, the only people that I really knew was my brother and my family, and then getting thrown into middle school where it's like everyone's forming cliques and opinions of each other and all this sort of stuff. It was shocking to say the least. Like, I was a nervous wreck for a long time. And, you know, the only thing that allowed me to find my niche socially amongst all my peers was that I spent some time in homeschool figuring out how to draw, because that's what I really loved doing. And so that was kind of like my foot in the door with a lot of situations socially in school, was the ability to just be creative and do a little bit extra, because I had the time to do that when I was younger, had parents that really facilitated that. And even outside of high school, they didn't really like pressure me to like go to college or do anything. They were like, you have your whole life to figure things out. And I think that was one of the most valuable things that they gave to me, was enough time to figure it out, and not so much like heavy pressure on like, you gotta just find the highest wage job or whatever. It was like, just do something that you love. And I think that was the biggest takeaway, is that they saw the value and the importance of happiness.
Yeah, I've talked about that before, like, the fact that no matter where you go, it's kind of hard to find stuff to do. Like even in like big cities like San Diego, like where it's like it's cool to just like be there and look at stuff.
Right.
But it's like you think like, oh, what are we gonna do when we get there? It's like eat, and then you don't know what else to do. So it's
Exactly.
like cool to have like
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. That's one thing we like to do when we go out. We'll just take a canvas and just paint it all solid color and just put it out. It says community canvas, and we throw some paints out and some brushes. And usually like throw a mark or two down to just get it, you know, so it's like, and usually don't have to do much more than that. Sometimes people look and be like, yeah, it's okay, you can paint. But it's incredible how receptive people have been to that, and that's a fun thing to do too. Just grabbing a canvas and just at a house party or whatever, barbecue or something, that like I started doing that with him and doing things during protests and stuff, but like then I went up and visited my folks one time and they had a block party. And I was like, oh God, you're having a block party right when I'm visiting? They're like, yeah, and you should, yeah, the neighbors, they remember you from here, you should come. I'm like, oh boy. All right, I got a little of my social anxiety up there. I'm like, I don't know if I was signing up for a block party when I was going to visit, but like, okay. And I was like, maybe I'll do a community canvas.
Right.
And so I brought a community canvas to the block party. And it was really fun to see that. And the kids and the adults, and it was exactly that, where it was like, almost like a campfire or something. People could just kind of, there's something going, we don't even have to just be talking constantly. Just,
they have their it's very uniting.
that's cool, isn't it? You know, and it's a different, and so yeah, that's another thing that's like, you know, Monday, if it's just, I'm evangelizing things here, but like do it. You can do it yourself. With $10 at Goodwill, you get a canvas and paint over whatever's on there maybe, and it doesn't have to be a big expense. And paints you can get pretty cheap these days. You don't have to get fancy paints, just kids paints, whatever. And it's really fun to just put that out and have multiple people. You add on to each other's things. You make, oh look, you made me look silly, whatever. It's great. It's great.
Well, I think that's why we like going to concerts a lot, because like it's such a uniting experience. Like all these strangers, and it's like I don't know any of you, but like we all love this person in this band, and we can talk starting off of that, and then that just grows off of like so many things, and then you guys can be like best friends. Like it's just what I love like so much. Like the vibes are just always so good. Like everybody just has a good time. Like there's that mutual respect, like that, all that love. Like we're all here to see this person right now. Like, and it's just like a very like bonding experience for everybody.
Like
absolutely.
We've met like a lot of cool people at like different concerts, and just like we'll be like confused for something, and they'll like help us just because we all feel like we're friends, like from being in music.
Totally, absolutely. Yeah, that's how even it started. One of those, oh, music, and then it was the first.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's wonder. Yeah, and is it any surprise that that's like one of the basic parts of our culture too? Is like it's been around for so long, you know. I've made the point today, but I mean, I'll make it. It gets like it is so often, like the cave paintings and the early musical instruments. When they find that back in the day, they're like, oh, this is human culture, sort of. They use that as the landmark, and then at the same time, it's like when you see it taken out of schools and stuff, that you're like, this is our whole half the reason we're defining ourselves is look at what we do collectively, collaboratively. That's like more than just survival, more than just like. It's like we're creating this like our environment, we're making it just nice for ourselves and kind of cool, and exploring vibrations and visualizing things that are just imaginative even, and like that's cool. I like, you know, of course, that's the stuff I tend to like too, but that's we've been doing that for so long. We've been doing that for so long, a lot longer than shopping. You know?
Yeah. I know like when I was in like high school, I was in like theater and stuff, and like I know that a lot of the kids that were in theater, like that's the reason that they would like go to school, is like to do stuff like that. But it was really like it didn't have a big budget compared to like all the other things in school, and it was hard because you kind of have to like find the funding yourself a little bit for it. And I just feel like I don't know, I just feel like it's important to be able to like have that in school, like that's like, and you find all your friends there too, like everybody, because everybody relates to that one thing.
Absolutely. I found out not too long my parents met in the drawing room at Wayne Community College.
That's cute.
I'm like, I didn't know that. That's kind of cool. Yeah, that hadn't have been there.
Right.
Shit.
Right.
You know, it's trippy to think about, but totally agree. That's access to things, and I think that's at the backbone of kind of our whole trip, is just being like, this thing could be so much more than it is. And people, like when we look around and we're frustrated with each other, we're all super like you know, we've been like a caged animal or something, and then they get out and they're just like neurotic and stuff, and like it's not, you get damaged in there. Not to be like, oh, we're all damaged, but like kind of a little bit warped. We'll just say warped and damaged too. Yes, of course, and people to various levels. I know we've all experienced very different experiences in life too, and I've been much more fortunate than many. But all of us have experienced societals, billboards of get money ahead, what just the things that are more just not the only purpose, you know. It's one thing that was like a lot of people really left religion behind, you know, because of like a lot of the things they've seen where it's like, well, I don't agree with that. I don't think you're going to hell just because you love someone, or you're going to this or that. Pick your thing where you're like, that's not me. And I definitely understand that, but like I think the idea that we're all part of something bigger, or in a general sense, we all came from the universe. You pick your words, get very loaded sometimes, but like I think this is true as anything we can observe. We're all part of a even species. We're depending on each other. We're part of an ecosystem of the earth. This is kind of like, that's not too crazy. Oh, whoa, you're getting a little out there. Like, no kidding. We're codependent. It's symbiosis. It's whatever. You put a few words to it, but that's just real, and that's, you can't ignore that. And it seems like we're living like we're ignoring that, but that's even in its own warped way, and it got a lot of that probably wrong. But the recognition that when people did come together on Sunday or whatever, and they kind of just, even despite of our issues, there was that like, we're still all children of so and so, or what, you know, in the language, you know, but in the same, yes, we're all part of the universe, we're all part of the thing, that there's a humbleness to that, humility, or whatever you want to call it, and just a, then all of a sudden you guys, we're all in the same club. Actually, we are all on the same team. We can be Mets, Dodgers, red, blue, whatever, and all this, and color code, and all, but like also, we're human beings. Also, we all live on planet Earth, not just the country we're in. Also, we live in this, yes, whatever that is, that expands beyond our capability to perceive it, literally. So that's cool, and we're all part of that, you know. And that's those are all, those make me think we're more on the same page than not, you know, which is, you know, that, yeah. And if we could recognize that and work that way, I think we can, man. And we see it in those little pockets. We see it in those little areas where people do. They get together. You know, or even the corporations do. They get together and look what they do. They see the power of cooperation. Oh yeah, you guys all work together exactly this way, but watch this shit. You know, and so yeah, cooperation fucking works. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Yeah, I don't know how much footage this has.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was. That was cool.
Nice.
Talking about the plan in
Talking about the plan and a shooting star.
I saw that too. I wasn't gonna like just break the moment there, but I was like, oh, shooting star.
It's right there.
Wow.
Right as
Nice.
we're talking about the universe.
Nice. Wow. Those kind of things don't make me feel bad. You know what I mean? That's cool. You wanna?
Hell
maybe,
yeah!
we
Let's
should
do it.
share some art and maybe. Down the. It's been real fun talking to you, Bob.
Yeah, pleasure.
Well, probably I don't know if you're interested at all, but
That was just for the Wookiee ending.
this is
I'm gonna cut.
This is only a trust-building trick to instill some trust and inspire people to come up and have some fun. Here we go. If anybody's still here, say yeah.
Yeah.
This is just a trust-building trick. But sometimes people will clap for it. Thank you, both of you.
Yeah.
It's a good crowd. Let's get this show really started. Before I do start, guys, I'm gonna gas this up so I'm ready to go with all four. Then I'm gonna draw my safety line. If everybody comes up to the safety line, it helps save my voice. It makes it look like I have an audience. It really helps my fragile ego through this short performance. I appreciate everybody who's already walked up a bit. This is the hardest part of my show, is convincing the first few folks that I am not crazy. Because you guys are strangers, and I haven't convinced my family yet. Guys, please come up to this line right here. I'm sorry it's invisible. I drew it with chalk earlier. but I took a lunch break. I think one of the musicians snorted it while I was gone. All right, they have a sense of humor, thank goodness. Hey, I'm about to juggle fire, wheel the stroller up right here, use the baby as a barricade so you're not injured.
Funny.
All right, here we go.
Oh, he didn't like that. Very protective father. Doing a good job, Dad.
I remember when this town had a sense of humor. Here we go. I'm just kidding, it's really rough sometimes. Safety trick done. Here we go. I'm gonna start off with the first trick I ever learned. When I was 15 years old, my mama, she moved me from Alabama right here to San Diego. She said, your room is always messy, dude. The dishes are always dirty, kid. And you never do your homework before you play your Atari. My mama said, go get a job and learn some responsibility. And I know it's tough telling looking at me tonight, but that's what I went and done. I got a job at the local amusement park where the juggler they hired showed me how to do this trick. Ow! We worked at SeaWorld. They used to clap for the seals. Thank you. I'm just trying to bring home a point early on in my show, folks. A live show is gonna be a lot more fun with a live audience. I get it. You don't understand I'm doing a live interactive comedy set yet. I haven't even done any impersonations. My impersonation of Hanukkah on the second night. If you clap, you won't look anti-Semitic. This one's for the locals. My impersonation of last night's spicy burrito. My impersonation of the clap. Oh, that's for the Navy guys. Don't worry, the kids won't get it. But if they do, take them to a doctor. All right. There's always one in the bunch to burn out. At least that's what my mom says about her kids. I'm gonna gas these up, guys, and I'm gonna show you the act that has taken me to 23 countries in the past 20 years or so. If you're down to see it, say yeah. Yeah! What's your problem? Ow! Guys, do me a favor, step up to this line, because then that family can step up as well without worrying about anything. Thanks. All right. This is hard sometimes. I like you guys, you aren't going anywhere. They're just like, we're chill.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Let's get this thing going. All right, guys. Is Michael Vick in the crowd? What's going on? All right, guys. This is where the show gets really bumping. I need you, sir, to take this torch. Stay right there. You don't need to come in. When I say it's showtime, this crowd will go nuts, like Tom Cruise on Oprah. You will take the torch at that time. What's your name, bud? Robbie. Robbie, my name's Keith. Pleasure to meet you. Robbie, once they make all the noise after I say showtime, you're gonna take the torch. You're gonna light it. You're gonna hold it higher than a hippie above your head. People will hear the noise. They will see that fire in the air. And they will think something cool is happening here. Nice. We are going to trick them. All right. Hold on. I want to try to tighten up my crowd one last time, just to make it look like I'm actually performing instead of having a yard sale. Thanks. Guys, if you step up, nobody will think this guy's farting. Just step up. All right. Here we go, Robin. Ladies and gentlemen of San Diego, Embarcadero, make some noise. The danger, Wow, that was great energy.
Yeah.
Listen up, kids. For the next part of my show, I am going to need a volunteer. What's your name?
Liam.
Liam, you had your hand up real quick, like in class, right?
Yeah.
Well, he had his hand up first. Welcome, Robbie, to the show. You being the smart kid in class, though. Robbie, face your family. Where are you from? Florida. Well, so what part?
Daytona Beach.
Daytona. Okay, I haven't spent much time there. A little too full on, you know? Oh, yeah, you got to watch them. All right, here we go. So, I have done shows in Florida. I've done them all around the world. People ask me if I do it for the love. Do I do it for the money?
Yeah.
Robbie, do you know why I'm doing this right now? No, because you're letting me. Robbie, what do you do for work? Do me a favor, sit on your butt for a minute. Just like you've been on the ship for 6 weeks. All right, Robbie, what kind of music do you like? Rock. Do you remember hip hop? How old are you? Do you remember Fat Joe? He had this one song when I started doing this show called Lean Back. If you could just lean back, and if you put your legs straight, Robbie, take a deep breath.
Okay.
It makes it easier to do this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Ow! Everybody give Robbie a really big round of applause. Robbie, I want to let you know, I know you're nervous. Hold on, this one's small.
Okay, all right.
It's like Robbie has the clap.
There you go, Robbie.
Okay.
All right. Sorry, my wicks are getting small. I haven't done this show in like 20 years, Robbie. No, don't worry. I used to do it all the time.
Okay.
But for like 15 years, I've been doing a show with an 8-foot unicycle. But I got back to California, and this is what's left of my 8-foot unicycle.
Where's that going?
No.
Yeah.
Hopefully on the next unicycle I buy that was 8 feet to make it a 10-foot unicycle. All right, here we go. All right, Robbie. What part of what part of Florida are you from again?
Daytona Beach.
Oh, that's right. So you guys, you're not in the Panhandle.
No.
So you don't listen to much country?
No country.
I'm from Alabama.
Oh.
We listen to a lot of country.
I know.
I don't like the new stuff though. I like the old stuff, like Waylon Jennings and Willie Nelson, Johnny Cash.
Yeah. Bring it.
Do you know any Johnny Cash songs?
Bring a fire.
That's the one. Robbie, these flames only get eye contact. Trust is important. These flames only get this tall. They only burn for 8 to 10 seconds. So if it gets too hot, just get up and get the hell out of there.
All right.
But don't, because if you do, not only are you going to ruin my show, but all their TikToks. Robbie, you know 20 years ago when I wrote this show, first of all, I'd like to say thanks for your service.
Yeah, thank you.
When I wrote this show a while ago, about 20 years ago, we were actually at war. But you know what? I think people like you go around to make sure that we have peace. If you guys agree, say yeah.
Yeah!
So to symbolize the peace movement, I'm going to draw a peace symbol here next to Robbie. Don't worry, I picked you because you had a hat.
All right.
Oh!
Yep, and I was right about that too.
Oh! No.
Robbie, what happened to the torch?
Went out.
I should have picked a younger guy. Robbie, could you hand me that torch, please, real quick? It makes it easier to finish the peace sign.
Oh no!
Relax. You can trust me, I'm a street performer. Robbie, check it out. This crowd's starting to have fun. Thank you, Robbie. We can't do this without you.
You're welcome.
I do want to let you know that I can't do this without you, so stay there.
I'm not going anywhere.
Robbie, I'm gonna hand you the torch. I'm gonna hand you the lighter.
Okay.
You're gonna light up the torch and shake it off like Taylor Swift. Once you get it shaken off, you're gonna put it back in there, okay? All right. Sweet. Just light it up so I'm not liable.
All right.
Shake it off really good, Robbie. Not over the gas! Go ahead and give it a couple shakes. Just don't shake it more than 3 times. Hey lady, if you're gonna laugh at my jokes, can you walk around so it looks like everyone has a sense of humor? All right, Robbie, I don't want to get your pants dirty. I'd hate to have to go to Walmart while you're on vacation. Here, take this. Boom. Perfect. That's all you need, Robbie. Just relax. This is where everybody gets really nervous, Robbie. Whether there's some big Marine, a Navy guy, or me, they get really nervous and uncomfortable. But don't worry, I understand I'm an empath. And that's why I bring them a pillow every time. Ladies and gentlemen, the actor. Guys, please walk up so more people can stand there. Ladies, guys, take one more step up. You can trust me. Look what Robbie's doing for you. Ladies and gentlemen, the actor about to witness has taken me all around the world. It is known as the Walk of Death. Usually that gets an ooh and an ah. Let's make this side the oohs and this side the ahs. Ladies and gentlemen, the Walk of Death. They get it.
Ah.
With me. Robbie's just like who? Guys, let me show you what I'm gonna do. The Walk of Death is gonna happen. I only have a couple more tricks to do before I do it. I'm gonna light these on fire. I'm gonna juggle as I... Robbie, don't worry. There's a script here, actually. I know I look like a crackhead, but I'm not. It's just been a rough winter in San Diego, believe it or not. All right, Robbie. Yes. Who's got a lighter? Hey kid, give me your lighter. I won't tell your dad I saw you smoking earlier. Give me your lighter. You don't smoke, right, kid? Good, good. Because my grandma, she has throat cancer. And she'll tell you, kids, smoking is a very bad habit. Why are they laughing at my grandma's throat cancer? I don't know. All right, here we go. I don't know. All right, what are we doing? Oh, first of all, you could just relax. We'll just let that flame. I think we got the crowd that we love. All right. That's what that part's there for. We will be doing the Walk of Death right after this. I just want to thank everybody who had stopped and stayed. As you can see, getting shows started takes extreme measures. People these days are very impatient, indifferent, and very quick to judge me. They look at me like I'm some drunk, homeless person. But I am not homeless. What I am is an international street performer. I have traveled all around the world. Doing shows like this, usually for a much larger crowd. I'm from Alabama. Folks are usually much larger there. Let me show you guys a couple of tricks I learned around the world. If you want to see a dangerous trick, say yeah. Yeah. You're looking at it. You want to see me juggle backwards? Yeah. Say yeah louder. Yeah. Juggling. Yeah. Behind the back. Juggling. Yeah. Behind the back. Thank you, both of you. The other back. Yeah. How about both backs? Woo! Woo! All right, I didn't even have to make a joke about the Chargers after that one. All right, guys, I'm gonna gas these up one last time. I'm gonna do the Walk of Death. I'm gonna help Robbie up, and then I'm gonna eat the fire. Even if you don't intend to tip right now, please don't leave. Enjoy the show, because that's what we're supposed to be doing with our lives. I'll be right back. Ow! Thank you, that one guy.
Yeah.
Sing it, girl. Alright, Robbie. Yes? Did you go to Catholic school? Absolutely. Then let go. You went to school? You stay in school. You get good grades, so you can grow up big, strong, and important. Like a lawyer, or a doctor, or Chinese.
I told him like,
All right, here we go. Robbie, you're a champ, man. Give him one more round of applause.
Yeah.
Ow! I really want to thank you. Nobody has ever laid there this long.
You got back issues?
All right, Robbie, open up so I can put it in.
All right.
Squeeze them tight like you're scared in prison, okay? All right, here we go. You know what? Let's do two. Let's do two at once. I've never done two at once. I'm joking. I went to college in San Francisco. Yes. Whoa! Squeeze them tight. All right. Okay, you got it. You got it. You got it. You're good. All right. Robbie.
Yes.
First rule. Never talk about Fight Club.
I was gonna say.
Second rule. Keep your arms in by your side and your eyes open in case you have to do this. Oh, shit.
Okay.
Shit's a bad word, kid. Don't say it. What's the word you'll be saying? All right. All right. Robbie,
Yes.
and rule number 3 is the most important rule. Whatever you do not fart. One fart will wipe out 5 families. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to see the Ring of Fire get lit, make some noise! Robbie, I got bad news, dude.
Yeah, it's happening.
America has a sick sense of entertainment value. But I do not. I would never hurt anybody that helped me get such a big crowd. That's just water. But this is the walk of death. So tell me, are you Jewish?
No.
Would you like to be? All right, I'm gonna do this last trick. I'm gonna help Robbie up. Thanks guys for sticking around. I've been really on a bad one since my unicycle got smashed while I was in the restroom. And you guys really made my day. Thanks for coming out. I've been really afraid to do this because I didn't think people would actually lay there this long in this digital age. Robbie's a champ, here we go. When I first started doing this trick about 20 years ago, I called it Great Balls of Fire. But now I get it right. Robbie came all the way from Florida. You know what, Robbie? You know what I love about California?
What's that?
No matter where you are, if you just stop and look up, you'll think, man, this view is nuts.
Correct.
I'm gonna help Robbie up. Nobody leave because he deserves your full support with a giant last round of yeah! Robbie, get off the stage, you're milking it. If you guys want to see me put this in my mouth, say yeah. Guys, if there's any Republicans out here, $10 could really help prove the trickle-down theory works. If there are any Democrats out here, cash is not the only green I will accept. If I've said anything that's offended your family, I apologize. Write it on a 20 and throw it in this hat. It always gets a laugh. I just never get the 20. I'm gonna gas this up one last time so your Instagram pictures look really good. Size matters. That's why I'm single. I'm in a bank account. What are you people thinking?
I'm thinking it's gonna be cool.
I think you're pretty right on. What's your name, dude? Liam. Oh, I already got that. Good memory. How old are you? No way. I was 6 when I was your age. When I was your age, I saw a juggler at the zoo and I knew. I said, Mama, I'm gonna be a professional juggler. She said, baby, you can't be both. But because of crowds like this, I've been all over God's green earth. And when I come home, I'm very proud to say I'm achieving my dreams. I can't do that without folks like you. From the bottom of my heart, give yourselves one last round of applause. Ow! You see, kid, if you have a dream, listen up. Take a good look at me. go to college. But if you have a dream, kids, work hard every day and never stop believing in yourself.
That's right.
With enough hard work, belief in yourself, and a bit of grace, you kids can accomplish anything. So kids, remember, if your parents don't put $5 in that hat, it's only because they don't believe in believing in yourself. I'm joking, it means they don't love you. Ask them for a 20, it'll make up for all the TikToks I do without even a thank you. Here we go. If you are Republican, please know that I am a small business. If you're a Democrat, know that I'm a starving artist. And that's why I'm doing this.
Yeah!
Takes my chicken. Guys, I do have a QR code. I take Zelle and Cash App. Put it in motel. Apologize about that. If you do have any money, please put it in the hat. If you don't have any money, please don't take any out. And do not be alarmed by a squeaking noise you may be hearing at the end of the show. It's only the tight asses walking away. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. I'm saving up to buy the Chargers. We're moving to Canada.
Let's make sure people know how to find you.
Unicycles, if you put money sign unicycles, it should work. But yeah, someone said the QR code. I think it's because it got creased. It's not reading right.
I bet
Thanks, kid. It's like a game. Get some more. Come right back. Why are you laughing? My girlfriend makes me play that game every morning. Thanks, dude. Or miss. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Of all spirits, all good spirits, we're here to rock the world. Let's go, fam!
Yeah! Ow!
San Diego! Ow! Let's go, California!
Yeah!
Let's go, America!
Yeah!
Let's go, world!
Yeah! Yeah!
Shelly's here?